Amelia, Adair here. Thank you again so much for tuning in. And we have the beautiful Jasmine here today. And we're going to do some soul healing, and we're going to do some conversation, and we're going to do some elevation for you. All right. So, Jasmine, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. How do you spell that?
Jasmine.
We got an S in the building. Because
Yes.
I know it'd be a ZS situation.
Yes. That's so true.
And how long you been in Arizona?
I've been in Arizona for 4 years, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From
From Chicago, actually.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
So I came out here 4 years ago because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Started to feel as if I needed some type of shift in my environment, as far as wanting something new for myself. I'm also a single mom. I have a 6-year-old daughter. So we moved out here to Arizona.
Wow.
The desert.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you said you had a shift within you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you was in Chicago, what woke up in you?
Well, I got tired of waking up each and every day feeling like something was missing. I felt like that I wanted more for myself, and I couldn't figure out how to attract those resources to myself in Chicago. So I kept hearing about Arizona. I kept hearing about coming out here, resetting. It's quiet, it's free of distractions. So go there. So it was almost like something that was inside of me, like an inner calling, like you need to do more. And I wanted to do more. It wasn't like I was against that calling. And everything kind of lined up for me to move out here to Arizona. So I came.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And so when you packed and left, who came with you?
Just my daughter. So literally I sold everything in my apartment, my car, furniture. We moved with 2 suitcases.
Wow.
And I knew something was bigger here. I didn't know how. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew something was bigger here. So,
2 suitcases.
2 suitcases.
Now, are you reading my book?
I am not.
But suitcases is all you need for the reset. That she just part 2. Okay, baby. All right, so you moved out with 2, and how did your family respond to that?
Some of my family members thought I was a little delusional. Like, what is going on? Why are you detaching from so many material things? Why are you trying to move across the state? Who do you know there in Arizona? So a lot of them had questions, but they know that I'm very courageous. So they're just like, we're just gonna follow Jasmine and see kind of what happens. And yeah, that was a response.
Okay. And how is the relationship now? Now that things unfolded?
It's starting. Yeah. Now, currently, they're starting to feel like, okay, she's starting to make sense. I started a brand new career in the finance space. That's what I will say. And they're very excited about that part, but they're still trying to see what am I going to do as far as like my creativity, my side, my giving, wanting to help others. What are you going to do with that outside of just being so corporate, professional, and all of that?
Right. Because we've learned to be corporate.
Of course, of course. We know how to do that. Obedient. Right. So whatever. But yeah.
So you also explained that you are in the process of breaking generational curses. Where did you start?
Oh my goodness, where did I start? So this was about 6 years ago. With really the dynamic in my family when it comes to just like females have always been poor. So 6 years ago, when I had my daughter, I wanted to change that. I wanted her to feel welcome coming into the family. I wanted her to feel loved and supported from the jump, not to experience like the spirit of rejection or anything like that. So I just made it my mission to work from home. So I stepped away from the corporate space. I made sure that I was available for her 24/7. She didn't actually go into school until she was headed to preschool. So I raised her all at home all the way up until she was 5 years old. So I feel like I broke that generational curse because me and her are 100% close.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
And
the
so
stop.
her transitioning from home to school, how was that for her?
Oh my goodness, she loved it. So she's my only child. So she wanted to be around other children. So socially, she was able to move upward that way. And I love that for her. But for me, I was kind of hiding in the bushes, like what's going on? What's going on with my daughter? Missed her a lot, and I still do. So that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
do.
that could be a bit of a detachment for you.
Yes, for sure.
And how do you handle that mentally?
I honestly just pray for her. I know that she's gonna be okay. I know that she will be protected. And I set that attention each and every day. And I go from there. Come home and she's good to go. She's excited to see me. I'm excited to see her.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very strong
Yes.
because just having the experience of a broken home
Yes.
and then having to not bring that brokenness to a fixed child
Yes.
and being able to be okay at home, kind of. Yeah, because you're probably like thinking of all the things you could think of. And
Yes.
so, where do you maintain your balance now?
In the morning. So like how do I kind of reset and get myself
Yeah,
going?
yeah.
So in the morning, definitely have to journal, have to work out. 6 to 7 times a week. And like I said, pray, meditation. Those are how I center myself. That's how
Hmm.
I'm balanced. That's how I'm able to go out and
Hmm.
fight this world.
Okay.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you understand the battles of this world because that's what you
100%.
just said.
Yeah.
What is one of the main ones that you fight daily,
Um
weekly, maybe?
to basically to keep going. And what I mean by that is being a single mom, I'm responsible for my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
When you want to do it right, right?
Right.
So keeping myself going, I feel like I battle should I continue in terms of do I have like these far fetched dreams for my daughter? Wanting her to be very self sufficient, being able to stand up well here in America. It's a lot. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, do I have a lot of expectations? Am I pushing myself? Am I burning myself out?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to balance being a career woman as well,
Mm-hmm.
because I essentially run my own business. So
Okay.
I have to be available to my clients 24/7.
Right.
So that's a lot.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, are you choosing to do it by yourself? Are
Um,
you by yourself? How do you?
Yes. So right now I am choosing to do it by myself because I feel like I haven't attracted the right partner in my life as of yet to
Okay.
help me with her. And the reason being is because also my family have a history of molestation. So there's like a trust issue when it comes to partners. I had people who will want to help me raise my daughter, Brianna, but I'm a little not too sure about you. And yeah, that's kind of where that's at. I don't want to do it alone, but it's kind of like I feel like
You
I'm not
gotta.
healed enough to accept any type of support as it relates to raising her. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So you have a big trust issue with men.
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Is
Mhm.
it more personal or relatable stories?
What do you mean by that?
So sometimes we'll know someone that had a bad experience and we'll
Mhm.
internalize it as our own.
For sure.
And then sometimes we'll have our own experience.
Mhm.
And that's enough to
For sure.
not trust
Yeah.
either a race, a sex, meaning
Okay.
female or male,
Mhm.
um, I mean, or plants.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing else besides.
Yeah. So if you say it that way, I say a
Mhm.
combination of both.
Mhm.
I think it started just from my dad not being around. So my mom and my dad, they divorced when I was 12. My
Mhm.
dad moved away to Florida. We just had a phone relationship. That's it.
Mhm.
So just the presence of men
Mhm.
at times is very intimidating because I'm just like, wow, this is a lot of attention. This is a lot of affection. They're just opening the door.
Yeah.
They're just giving me lunch, you know?
Yeah. It could be
So
a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you didn't prep me for that.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, you're just being kind. That's it,
Okay.
you know? So understanding kindness, separating that from like romance.
Okay, and I hear that you use the word attract a lot, which is
Mm-hmm.
very beautiful. Because as women, we do attract,
Mm-hmm.
where men are more of the chasers.
Yeah.
Um, and so, because we attract
Yes. Literally. Mind blown.
I mean, death.
Mind blown.
Death.
Yeah.
So, how do you set your intention for your attraction?
How do I set it?
Mm-hmm.
Daily. So I guess to give you an example, visualization. What is it gonna feel like once I become whatever? So, for example, I wanted to attract a career that paid me at least 250 grand per year. I'm in that. So how I attracted that is I had a journal. I wrote down my do's and my don'ts, what I'm willing to accept, what I'm not willing to accept. Wrote that down every day, just kind of confessed it. That's the way I would say it. Just kind of just put it out there to the universe each and every day. That was like 16 months ago. And then voila, it showed up. So my thing is I don't really think about how long it's gonna take me to get there. I know if I set my attention each day, eventually it's gonna show up.
So,
So,
okay. So when you say eventually it's going to show up, meaning like you know there's going to be some work that you have to do,
absolutely. Yes.
and you just wait for the work to show up first.
So you do the work each and every day,
Okay.
day in and day out. But by doing the work each and every day, ultimately that's going to get you to the goal. So I think about what can I do each day? If I know that I want to be earning this amount, 12 months from now, how I simplify my goals. What do I need to do each month? What do I need to do each week? What do I need to do each day to get there? So,
Okay. So you
mm-hmm.
seem to have your financial part
Yeah.
home run.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Now, what about when it comes to the men?
Mm, that is my area of weakness.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which part? The affection part, the communication part, the
The
what you want?
affection part. The affection part. I
Explain.
feel like the affection part is like once I actually okay, so I know what I want in a man, right?
Right.
So, for example, I want a man that's generous. So when I attract this man into my life, when he wants to pursue me and get to know me, that's when I shut off because I'm just like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm well enough. So I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's an affection thing. I'm just not even sure. But that's just kind of how it is. Just like, hey, can I hold your hand? I'm just like, I'm shaking inside, but here you go. Yeah.
You don't
So
have a comfortable, safe space for men.
over the phone. That's my safe place. I need to have a buffer.
That's what you've been taught,
Mm-hmm.
shown,
Correct.
slash taught.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So, how long have you been single?
I would say about oh man, that's a tough question. Since February?
Okay. Sing. That's not that bad.
It's
Yeah,
February.
that's yeah.
But we officially cut it off like 2 weeks ago. So that's I'm like, that's a tough question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
February we were
how
done.
was that experience overall for you, meaning in your
Mhm.
growth space?
Oh my gosh. It helped me out tremendously in so many different aspects. So met him at the gym. He was my personal trainer. So physically, I lost like 40 pounds working with him. So that changed. Also, he was very educated, so he was able to keep me stimulated mentally. However, he was from a different culture, also, should say that. He was Ghanaian, first generation.
Okay.
So, I guess I grew a lot in that particular relationship. However, just because I was 5 years older, I wasn't 100% accepted in that culture, and I had a child, so I wasn't accepted in that culture.
Okay.
Uh huh.
So so I'm with you.
Hmm.
So he kind of was rejecting you.
Yeah, so he said that he accepted me.
Right.
Let me take a step back. He is originally from Maryland, the DMV
Okay.
area.
Yeah, yeah.
We met here in Arizona when
Okay.
he was away from his family. So just himself.
Okay.
Hit it off, had a really great connection. However, when he took me back home to his family in February, met his mom, to be specific, she was the one that was just like, this is unacceptable in my culture. You don't bring a woman home who's older, you don't bring a woman home who has a kid. We don't do this. So it put just like a knife in between us
Yeah.
because what
Yeah.
can you do with
To
that?
yeah.
But prior to that,
So the culture.
prior to that, I felt like we were really great. Like he took his time with me, he's patient.
Mm.
He was understanding that I wasn't willing to just be so affectionate off the bat. But then that kind of changed everything where I went back to what was familiar for me. I'm just like, don't touch me. I don't want to talk to you. Like, kind of like that. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So you said um his mom.
Hmm.
Okay. So another woman kind of didn't see you as an individual because of maybe some choices that you decided to make in your life.
100%. You hit it right on the nail.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Get the core. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's not to, throw balls at anyone. It's to assess a situation that we have at hand.
Mhm.
Like we're trying to move as women, as people,
Yeah.
let's say that, as souls, we're trying to move the ball forward.
Yes,
We're
always.
trying to detach from um, a lifestyle that was given to us,
Mhm.
right? Most, as we said, Amelia Online Academy, most melanated people don't have a big sturdy foundation because they were brought here, and once they were brought here, they were led astray. They weren't given valuable resources. They weren't given valuable opportunities. They were given leftovers.
Mhm.
From leftovers, they were told to build their life.
Mm.
Right? So what you see here is, two vivid examples of women trying to stand on what they was given
Yep.
and build something worth living for in the future. And there are many cases where we try to connect with other, you know, races or just people in general, and we do hit a lot of roadblocks.
Yes.
It's not as easy as it was when we were in grade school. Definitely now, because of our world is so different now. We have new knowledge running over the internet. We have just, you don't know what to expect when we speak with someone. You got to just take your time. Um, and as women, or maybe as souls rather, because when you try to say women or men, there's no right or wrong.
That's so true.
She
Mhm.
has her belief from what she's been taught, meaning the other family.
For sure.
And so if that's what worked for her, and she believed it's going to help her son,
Mhm.
then that's what she's entitled to.
Yep.
As again, souls trying to move forward with what we have, we gotta go within ourselves. Like, okay, so maybe I have to broaden up that space for men, because we would like to keep it how it was, classical and
Yeah.
things like that. However, in this new world, race, it needs to slowly not matter,
Yes.
you know, and we need to stop trying to just find someone to blame for it. Even though we may know where we can kind of stop from, it's still not the mom, it's still not the dad, it's still not the son. We could look at the situation and say, okay, now these are the results these were the results you got,
Mhm.
right? Even if it's not the results you want, it's the results you got.
Yep.
Based on that result, what can you go back into your journal and re-implement so that you can get a better output?
Mhm.
So like for you, Jasmine, okay, maybe you hit it on the nail. You got the first couple things together
Yep.
that these are my standards. I'm not going to lower my standards for these.
For sure.
Okay, where can you go in and maybe write something a little bit less distinctive,
Mhm.
so that you can date a little more,
Yeah.
and feel with a partner, because you can go alone for but so long.
Mhm.
Is period. So
Yeah.
even if it's not with a partner, maybe it's a friend.
Mhm.
Maybe you and a friend need to connect first for that foundation to be grown, for that understanding to happen within ourselves. Because when you go from within yourselves, it's not the same as it was in our last generation. Like same thing she was saying with her mom, her parents, her family. It's the same thing with me.
Yep.
I moved here 4 years ago, and they all looked at me like I had 4 years.
Oh my goodness. Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so it's same thing. It's you hear the same thing. As the coach, I speak with a lot of different women,
Mhm.
all races. So that's all when I say it's not just a race, it just
It's
happens to
not.
be her is telling the story.
Yeah.
It's not just a race. As a whole, we have some healing to do, and we have some mindsets that we have to break out of, because it's limiting everyone's ability.
Yep.
We want to move. We want to grow brands. We want to do this for us, not for social media. We want to do this so that when we go to sleep at night, we know we did some work with integrity.
Yes.
We know we was guided from within. This is a bit deeper than, you know, what the world has to offer.
Mhm.
And you also explained that you have a brand that
Mhm.
you're babying,
Yes.
you're mothering, rather.
Yes.
You have a
Yes.
brand that you're mothering,
Uh-huh.
and when we have a brand that we're mothering, that's first
Mhm.
with our children.
Yep.
And so when that's first, we don't want to just bring someone in that's going to pull that down,
Yes.
pull that down. And so having these conversations, staying up to date with how we're feeling now. Maybe I felt like this about this situation in that moment then. Let me revisit it. How do I
Mhm.
feel now? So I can see my growth. Because sometimes we're growing so much
Yeah.
and we're so into it, we don't even see the wings. Your wings sprouted out already.
I love that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
your wings sprouted out already. Now let me start to flat. And
Mhm.
when I say that, like our faith is pretty strong. We
Mhm.
have the spiritual support.
For sure.
We have what we need. Let me show up today
Mhm.
with that trust that my prayers is answered.
Yep.
Yeah, I may have got rejected in this form.
Mhm.
Okay, it's some form of rejection because you didn't get what you wanted or what you
Yep.
thought you may have, what you were working for. And when that rejection comes, instantly being able to analyze what's happening here.
Mhm.
Am I getting rejected because I didn't do enough work within?
Yes.
Am I getting rejected because this person isn't the one for me? Am I being protected? We all know that rejection over
Yes.
protection,
Absolutely.
and so being firm enough to accept whichever truth it is.
Mhm.
Because one of them is going to resonate with us a little bit more,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Am I making sense what
You
you're trying
are. And
to
I really believe like walking away from my previous relationship, that was more so protection.
Mhm.
I do believe that. And I gained a lot from it. That's why I don't blame the mother. I don't blame
Right,
him.
right, right, right.
I appreciate the lessons and I move forward.
And
You
you
know?
get that energy.
Yeah.
You give it very
Okay.
fast. Okay, I'm
Okay.
just I know that we have audience, so of course I'm
For sure.
elaborating on things.
Mhm.
However, you're sitting here, you are so confident with
Yep.
who you worked yourself to be.
Yes, it's been work for years, you know?
It does take a lot of work.
It does, and it's worth it, you know? When you really consider yourself worth it, it's healing is I feel like it's a lifelong journey. Like, you're never gonna be 100% healed,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you show up better each and every day when you put
Mhm.
the steps in, so
And so when you say
mhm.
heal, which areas do you try to heal the most in your life?
Um,
Meaning mentals,
mhm. I
spirit.
wanna say, oh, man, that's so good. Whew, that's loaded. Let me think.
Take your time, Jasmine.
Mm, mentally and emotionally.
Okay.
So mentally understanding circumstances and not showing up as the victim, you know, like
Mhm.
trying to look at it from different perspectives on
Mhm.
how did this really benefit me? Because everything is it's going to be beneficial towards me if I can
Mhm.
see it
Mhm.
in the puzzle, so to speak.
Right.
So really mentally, I would say I try to focus on how can I heal myself mentally based off of the things that I went through from childhood
From
all the way up.
childhood. So to go a bit deeper,
Hmm.
right? So when you say heal mentally, when you make a choice, do you hear voices stopping you? Do you have people?
Hmm.
What are you fighting back with?
I guess it just depends. So, for example, I'll give you a career example. I do a lot of cold calling. So, just calling people randomly, they're
Okay.
busy. So, I have to, at first, whenever I hear the phone, used to hear the phone ringing, I would battle voices. They're gonna be busy. They're gonna hang up on you. They're not gonna
Okay.
want to talk to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So knowing that, like, I would fight back saying, "Hey, they want to talk to me." So I would assume that they want to talk to me before they pick up. I would assume
Mhm.
that they want to go through whatever I want to talk.
Mhm.
I would
There
assume
you
that
go.
they're going to whatever they're doing, they're going to
Mhm.
stop that and focus on my conversation. So it is voices. It is.
Mhm.
And it's the battle of the mind. It's the battle of the mental. Like you have to be able to show up for yourself and set your attention. I want to talk to 5 people a day. I want to be able to fund 5 people a day without giving you guys my whole productivity spiel. That's kind of how it works.
No, we gotta do the same thing when we're out in the public. We
Yeah,
want to talk to 3 people. We set that intention. When we get
exactly.
three, okay.
For sure.
However, it has to be set.
It does. You have to be
Otherwise, you'll be
set.
drained, running around. Is this
Mhm.
enough? Is this
Yeah.
enough?
Can
You
I do
won't really
this?
know
No.
once you're fulfilled.
For sure. Yeah. How can you measure it without knowing? So I'm like, 3 is my goal.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wise.
Yeah.
Wise,
For
Taz.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
we've been friends forever. I know.
This is beautiful.
I'm just.
That's beautiful.
You get me speechless. I keep sitting in my chair. Hey, my period. I keep sitting in my chair. Okay.